welcome to today's webinar, Recurring Revenue with Redington. This webinar is brought to you by CRN India in partnership with Redington. I'm Sudipta Dev, Senior Associate Editor with Express Computer and CRN India. The webinar will highlight how Redington brings an opportunity with Microsoft Azure to generate compound revenue year on year. Our speakers for the day, Mithun Kumar, Group Business Manager, Redington India Limited, and Krishna Prasad, Product Manager, Microsoft Azure Cloud Infrastructure, will take you through a step-by-step plan to achieving profits. They will share with you information about the simple recurring revenue model where you onboard customers and continue to generate revenue every month. But before I hand over to Krishna and Mithun, I will go over the house rules first. So this is an audio and video webinar being broadcasted live and will be available as on demand. We will have poll questions in between, so request you all to participate in the same. We will have a round of Q&A at the end of the webinar. However, you can send in your questions anytime during the webinar using the Q&A text box. If you face any technical issues, please try to refresh your browser or else reach out to our team using the same questions text box. If any of your questions are unanswered, we will connect with you over email to answer the same. So that's all from my side now. I will hand over to Krishna, who is going to tell us all about Microsoft partner benefits. So over to you, Krishna.
Hey, thank you, Sudipta. Truly appreciate the introduction. Firstly, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. And I do hope that each one of you and your loved ones are keeping healthy and safe. Without further ado, give it the paucity of time, let me pull my presentation up. I'm Krishna Prasad. I lead the cloud infrastructure business at Microsoft, and I'm a senior product manager here. So good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just quickly move in terms of, over the next 20 odd minutes, I would quickly take you through in terms of what Microsoft Azure offers as a platform for our partners and for our customers. And very specifically, we'll be open to taking questions during or after the conversation in terms of how we could enable our partner ecosystem to be more relevant in having more meaningful conversations with our customers, right? So let's just quickly move forward. Giving you a quick heads up in terms of the platform itself. Microsoft Azure as a platform has identity security and compliance at the heart of it and scale at the heart of it, right? So beyond the infrastructure as a service, services that we may have in terms of compute networking storage and the PaaS services in terms of managed databases and apps that we may end up having, what Microsoft Azure brings onto the table is a whole ecosystem of solutions that our customers can go ahead and leverage, starting from GitHub and open source repository for customers to dive into and build open source based applications. We're seeing a lot of customers wanting to build cloud native scale out applications, leveraging open source based tools and frameworks. GitHub helps them do that. Not limited to that, we've got Microsoft 365, which is again powered by Azure as a platform, which could be the messaging and collaboration platform for a lot of our customers. Most importantly, the ability to then integrate LinkedIn into Microsoft Dynamics 365, all powered on Azure for meaningful customer relationships and conversations for better business insights as well as business outcomes. Last but not the least, we are living in an era of trying to build applications in a low-code, no-code frameworks. And Microsoft Power Platform helps build those low-code, no-code applications, which are lighter, which are for smarter, quicker workflows, which are for faster decision making. So net, if you were to look at Microsoft Cloud in itself, has all of these components which a customer can look at and make their decisions. At Microsoft Azure, we strongly believe that we would want to enable our customers invent with purpose. And how do we go about doing that? Our platform primarily ensures our customer be absolutely future ready, the ability to build on their own terms, to be in a position to manage and run their infrastructure and applications in a true blue hybrid manner. And most importantly, to run all of this in a trusted, compliant, and a secure manner. That's supremely critical to us. In terms of Azure, to give you a quick indication, ladies and gentlemen, we have 60 plus regions worldwide, And this was more than our compete put together, with 165,000 plus miles of fiber connecting our data centers and being the network backbone for us. Translate that to India, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 3 data center regions in India: West India, Central India, South India. We very recently made an announcement to bring in a fourth region in Hyderabad, and that would make us, that actually goes ahead and gives a clear indication from an intent and a commitment perspective as to what Microsoft sees India as a market, be it with respect to a wide expanse of partners, and be it with respect to the wide expanse of customers and the wide spectrum of customers that we continue to serve. In terms of customers on Azure, we've got 95% of Fortune 500 leverage Microsoft Azure as a platform of choice. And just to give you a quick rundown, we just spoke about overall what Microsoft Azure brings onto the table. In terms of very specificity of services, if you were to really look at it, if I were to divide it into 3 basic pillars, we've got infrastructure, which is compute, networking, storage, security, and identity, which forms the base of the platform itself. Then obviously we've got serverless compute services, be it in terms of either web mobile application builds or mixed realities, or for that matter, container infrastructures, or even for that matter, managed databases, analytic services, AI and machine learning models, IoT, and even media services for that matter. Beyond the serverless piece of it, we've got edge devices, be it in terms of our ability to transform our customers' landscape on the edge with Azure Stack Edge, or for that matter, even with Azure Stack HCI, which is a solution which is true blue hybrid in nature, wherein we are able to now seamlessly operate between public cloud Azure Edge as well as on-premises data center. All of this coupled with the ability to bring in tooling very specific for developers, be it in terms of Visual Studio, be it in terms of GitHub, be it in terms of Visual Studio, GitHub, or for that matter, Power Platform to build applications. And we'll dwell more into details as we move forward. Our approach to innovation has been extremely clear in terms of how we've looked at our solutions. And just to give you a quick indication, we moved from running database as a virtual machine to managed databases, after which we're looking to drive artificial intelligence and mixed reality. And our Horizon 3 lookout is primarily towards quantum computing. So if you really look at it, all of this is primarily looking at getting more insights out of data that you have, and we progressively trying to advance our customers' journey in terms of how they could innovate with us. In terms of, let's move forward, in terms of how do we keep ourselves future ready, right? We have close to 1,000 plus newer capabilities cutting across our platform, and which gives our customers innate capabilities to innovate faster and go to market faster. In terms of how do you maximize your value with Azure infrastructure, importantly, we've in the last 2 years, we've seen a great amount of innovation wherein customers have wanted to work from home during the pandemic, and we've enabled remote work for our customers with Azure Virtual Desktops. The ability then to make sure that we are able to bring in cloud cost efficiencies to optimize costs has been validated by a host of our customers, India as well as globally. Most importantly, the ability to then operate in a hybrid manner and bring in innovation into a customer's data center or on the public cloud Azure, wherever they may desire that innovation to be, is something which is very unique to us and which brings in cost efficiencies. And most importantly, it's an era wherein security is super critical. We're seeing increased cyber attacks across the world, and increasingly organizations are looking to spend towards making sure the infrastructure, the application that they run is secure. And we do that as well on public cloud Azure by bringing in greater levels of cyber security to make sure our customers' infrastructure remain absolutely secure and safe with technologies such as confidential computing. Let's move forward. In terms of reliable infrastructure, innovation is always fueled by reliable and scalable infrastructure. Like I mentioned, we've got 60 plus regions worldwide. We've got 150 VM type options. We cut across Intel and AMD. Just to give you a quick indication, many of you partners may be having conversations with your customers on probably looking to see if there's a possibility of migrating a customer infrastructure on customer landscape of SAP on the public cloud Azure. So just to give you a quick indication, we can go as small as 8 GB up to 25 terabytes of instances from a pure play virtual machine type perspective. and we go anywhere. We go between Intel and AMD SKUs as well. So we've got both of them as options available for our customers. And last but not the least, in terms of our ability to in terms of our ability to support open source based technologies. Just to give you a quick rundown, many times customers do think that Microsoft Azure is all about Windows SQL. No, it's not so. It's got probably the broadest open source based tooling and portfolio. 50% of our VMs that we run today on public cloud Azure are all Linux VMs. We've seen significant amount of growth on the Linux portfolio itself. And then we've got very specific custom built services or custom built infrastructure for running either HPC workloads or VMware workloads or SAP workloads for that matter. Let's move forward. One of the key specificities that we bring onto the table in terms of reducing the overall cost of ownership of our customers is Azure hybrid usage benefit. So if you are a customer, if you have a customer as a partner, if you have a customer who has Windows and SQL Server with software assurance, we can help them migrate onto the public cloud Azure with close to 80% cost savings for better performance, for better costing, and for better scalability, security for that matter, right? Even we can go ahead and help customers leverage public cloud Azure to move Windows and SQL Server 2012, which are end of support, with security updates onto the public cloud Azure. That's something that we bring onto the table for a lot of our customers, right? Most importantly, the Azure hybrid usage benefit is just not limited to Windows and SQL Server only. If the customer has SUSE Linux or Red Hat Linux for that matter, and they have enterprise subscriptions, we can enable them go ahead and port these workloads onto the public cloud Azure and leverage Azure hybrid usage benefit, wherein they pay only for the virtual machine and not for the operating system images. And Microsoft then runs, manages, and supports the end-to-end infrastructure, including the operating systems. Let's just move forward. We spoke about infrastructure, right? Infrastructure forms the base. What is supremely critical for our customers is the ability to look at the data part of it. Data is the new oil, and the most important thing that customers are grappling today is the volume of data that they have, the variety of data that they have, and are they able to look at both of these, the volume and the variety of data, and be in a position to make those meaningful insights and decisions real quick. So all of our customers are compounded with some of these questions, right? What kind of data do they have? Is the data really trustworthy in terms of the sanctity of that particular data set? Can people across my organization, relevant people across my organization, have access to data to be in a position to make those right decisions, which may lead to business outcomes, meaningful business outcomes? Can I enable, as a customer, can I enable faster business insights? And how compliant is my set of data? What's my exposure to compliance? These are some very common questions that a lot of our customers have, which in eventuality, when you go ahead and represent us and have these conversations, you're going to have as well. Now, in terms of just some numbers, right? If you were to really look at it, why is data becoming so critical? Data-driven transformation truly yields significant benefits, and some of the numbers are there, right? In terms of increase in revenue performance, increase in profitability, increase in customer satisfaction, and these are proven numbers. These are proven numbers. So you will see a lot of conversations customers are having with us in terms of trying to build strong data foundations and then be in a position to run analytics on top of it to get meaningful insights. And we dwell further on that in the next few slides. The Microsoft journey for a customer in terms of data is in terms of going ahead and building strong data foundations. The ability then to look at and define metrics or scorecards, or the impact of which we want to, as customers, measure. Most importantly, then to look at probably building an analytics solution to ensure that the customers understand the behavior of their customers to generate insights. And last but not the least, with respect to machine learning and artificial intelligence, try to integrate them into the overall application landscape to make sure the customers have a more connected and an intelligent experience. We'll dwell a bit of it. Also, we'll dwell a bit on this particular aspect of it when I come to the apps piece of it. Let's move forward. What sets Microsoft Azure as a platform aside is the ability to consolidate all of your data with Azure SQL, in terms of Azure SQL as a database. Now, that's supremely important for a lot of our customers. Builds a very strong, robust data foundation and data modernization for our customers. What also is supremely critical is customers are looking to build applications which are more cloud native in nature, which are more horizontal scale out and vertical scale up as well. And our ability with Cosmos DB to build ultra low latency cloud native applications is fueling a lot of conversations with our customers. Like I mentioned, the most important piece after we build a data foundation or modernize our data estate is in terms of trying to look at integrating analytics into overall scheme of things for faster time to insights. Most importantly, we've also strongly recognized the fact that data should be democratized, and we should certainly we are a strong proponent of responsible yet powerful AI. So you are able to build AI for your organizations basis the requirements that you may have in a far more responsible manner. And last but not the least, the ability to look at the data, look at it from a governance standpoint, provide you with tooling with which you can look at your compliance requirements and be then compliant thereafter. Now let's come to application build, right? Now some of the basic nature, some of the basic facets of modern day applications are that they are rendered on containers as infrastructure. They leverage managed databases, like I mentioned, very specifically Cosmos DB. These applications need to provide our customers with intelligent experiences. Thereafter, therefore, the need for artificial intelligence being integrated into these applications, and most of them are delivered as serverless to optimize costs, to ensure that they are truly scalable and they leverage infrastructure only as and when they need from an API call perspective. What does Microsoft bring from a what does Microsoft Azure bring to our customers from a tooling perspective? Right, like I mentioned, we've got GitHub, which has got 56 million plus developers contributing code, contributing to the repository, seeking from the repository, building, and then contributing back. So it's a very rich ecosystem for a lot of our customers to go ahead and have conversations with. In terms of, like I mentioned, in terms of Microsoft Visual Studio as a number one developer tool, a lot of our enterprises do leverage Microsoft Visual Studio for application build. And like I mentioned previously as well, our ability to look at low code, no code application build with Power Platform, supremely critical. So net, if you were to really look at it, Azure and Power Platform put together, we can take care of every kind of developer, right? If you were to look at Microsoft Azure as a platform, Azure services and APIs as one block, on the left-hand side of it, we've got GitHub, Visual Studio, and Visual Studio Code for professional developers, and we've got Power Platform and the whole set of tooling around that for low-code, no-code application build. So net, if you as a partner are going ahead and having conversations with your customers, you can bring about all of these facets which are extremely relevant to your customers from a platform standpoint. Azure Kubernetes Server. So we've seen a lot of conversations with our customers wherein customers do want to move ahead. So let me give you a quick analogy, right? We had applications built on bare metal servers, then came virtualization, wherein the application and infrastructure got decoupled, and then came in containers, right? So once we've seen a great sprawl of container infrastructure going across our customers, we see an increased adoption of customers wanting to look at managed Kubernetes services to orchestrate and manage these containers. And Azure Kubernetes Service helps them do that with built-in best practices, with multi-layer security and increase in operational efficiency. These are some of the Azure application services that you can look at, which can be brought about to modernize applications, be it app service functions, logic apps, to be in a position to have API calls with API management, with Event Grid for messages, all of this, right? And these application services can help you run your applications practically anywhere, right? Be it on Azure or on premises or AWS or Google for that matter. So net, true blue multi-cloud in the real sense of it. Let's quickly move to IoT piece of it. We've got the most comprehensive, broadest portfolio of IoT devices and services. The ability to be in a position to leverage IoT-based technologies to faster time to solve, which is supremely critical in IoT-centric conversations, and the ability to make sure that these happen in a very secure manner with industry-leading end-to-end IoT security. So this is something that's very unique to us. We've got lots of IoT customers, and now we come to the penultimate section. So let's quickly give you a view in terms of how Microsoft Azure as a platform is truly hybrid in nature, right? We've got customers environments constantly evolving in terms of how they build apps, how they deliver apps, and how they consume their infrastructure and where they consume their infrastructure, right? So we're truly living in a multi-cloud hybrid cloud world. Now, one of the reasons, or some of the reasons that have been highlighted for hybrid multi-cloud strategy for customers is primarily around regulatory and data compliance. Extremely critical given the data sovereignty requirements that every country has today. Low latency and edge-based solutions which need application to reside closer to the infrastructure, application and data center modernization, business continuity and resilience. BCDR is a supremely critical conversation for a lot of our customers, and the innate desire for a customer to go ahead and have the freedom to use one or more public clouds. What we're seeing in the market today is most of our customers, 90% of them depend on hybrid for rendering their applications and infrastructure. And 93% of our customers already have a fully functional multi-cloud strategy. Now, what does Microsoft bring onto the table? With Azure Arc, we bring in a single control plane of management, which customer can manage any infrastructure on any cloud, and be it on premises or be it on the public cloud. And we are able to bring just not management and governance, we are able to bring in security also to it. So you can truly build a multi-cloud security framework with Azure Arc and public cloud Azure and the security toolings from the public cloud Azure on any infrastructure, on any cloud, and on-premises infrastructure as well. Now, the last piece of it, most critical piece of it, security is supremely critical for us at Microsoft Azure. Right, and I'll give you some basic nuggets in terms of how we approach our security conversations. We've got 3,500 full-time security professionals in our Cyber Defense Operations Center. We monitor close to 6.5 to 8 trillion signals on a daily basis. Our annualized investment on cybersecurity is close to $1 billion. And if you heard a press announcement last year during August, we committed $20 billion to cybersecurity over the next 5 years. So that shows our intent to keep pace or be ahead of anybody from a cybersecurity standpoint. If I were to just even look at it from an internal revenue stream perspective, if we were to look at the Microsoft security portfolio, and if we were to carve that out as a separate entity altogether, we will be the world's largest security company. So that is the testament to the security solutions that we bring onto the table. We've got 91 plus compliance certifications at Microsoft, which is higher than any of the compete put together. So you look at any probable compliance certifications that you may want, any global standards, be it FedRAMP, be it PCI DSS, be it SOC compliance, be it the ISO, you have all of that. Translate that to India, we are also MITI compliant, that is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, to run data centers, to run cloud services within India. So net-net, if you were to really look at it from your conversation with your customer perspective, from a Microsoft standpoint, from a Microsoft Azure standpoint, you got reliable and scalable infrastructure to support a customer. You got the ability then to look at modernizing a customer's data estate, driving analytics with data warehouse and data lake, and then being able to then do powerful dashboarding with Power BI. Not limited only to that, you are then able to build in cloud native applications on Microsoft Azure with the tooling that we have, with the infrastructure that we have. So be it infra, be it data and AI, be it application, be it innovation, the customer need not have to look at any other cloud service provider other than Microsoft. And this is a very compelling story, compelling proposition that I would want each one of you partners to take to your customers. With that, I will draw close to my presentation. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Truly appreciate your time.
Thank you, Krishna, for the informative presentation. I invite now Mithun to take the session forward with his presentation program walkthrough recurring revenue with Redington. Over to you, Mithun.
Hey, thank you, KP, for setting up the conversation, Sudipta, for introducing me. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mithun. I manage the Microsoft business in Redington, and I would like to welcome all the participants who have joined this webinar on their busy schedule. Next, 20 to 25 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the most important part of the session, which is RRR and why RRR. So today we all are living in a digital world. Everything is digital now, starting from buying groceries to booking a hotel, everything, even paying our educational school fees, that also become digital. Everything is digital, and we often hear from our customers and also from our partners that I am going for digital transformation, and often we hear cloud, a buzzword, AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning. These are all the words which are coming up from our CIOs, CTOs, CISOs, okay, all these people. And we as a partners, okay, what we are doing is that we are hearing these words. Are we utilizing these words? Are we utilizing that discussion or the conversation what he is having? That is the most important thing which I want to tell. Today, everything is in the digital area. Therefore, moving the business towards cloud is for your customers is much more important than ever. That is the whole thing which I want to talk about here. And if you talk about cloud, this is the demand for cloud.
Mithun,
Gartner says that 7.3 billion is what.
I'll just stop you here 1 minute. Let's have the first poll question before going on with your presentation, if it's all right with you.
Yes.
Yeah. So I request our tech team to please launch the first question. Okay, so I'll read out for our audience. The first poll question is, what are your focused customer verticals? It's a multiple choice answer: BFSI, manufacturing, pharma and healthcare, IT, ITES, and e-commerce. So we have 5 different verticals here. I request you to please select either one or many, and Mithun, which will give Mithun the opportunity, to get a greater insight on the kind of audience that there is, and his presentation will also, similarly, he'll be able to talk about it. We still have a few seconds left. Request you to please select one or 2-3 of the options. Okay, so can we get the results, please? Right, Mithun. So what are your thoughts on this?
1 second, let me check this. Manufacturing is 56%, BFSA is 35%, ITIDS is 60%, and e-commerce is 37%. Wow. That's great.
Actually, that's a brilliant mix of customers that these partners are looking at. And if I can just come in here, these are the customers whom we've seen probably the greatest amount of cloud adoption, be it BFSI, e-commerce, which is digital native business for us, and for that matter, even when we look at manufacturing, the trends that we see from IoT perspective, right, from a high performance compute perspective, we're seeing great amount of traction with all of these verticals. So I think so most of our partners here would certainly find Microsoft Azure as a platform which ties into what their customers may require and what they may take to drive more value to our customers, right? What do you with it?
Absolutely, Getisha. That's how it is. So now we have very evident that everybody is talking about the cloud, and the demand for cloud is always there. As a partner, are we utilizing these opportunities is the question, and that's where we are presenting this recurring revenue with Redington. And we are going to handhold you along with you to your customers, where we will enable you with one line of business. What we are going to do is that we are going to help you in the next 12 months by acquiring 30 customers, and we are enabling you with 50K of profit. This is what we are, as we Redington, are going to do it for you. And how are we going to do it? We are not going to do anything, different, magical thing. We are going to leverage your existing customers. We are going to slightly tweak the optimizing your sales team, and we are going to get you skilled and trained on talking the same language of what the customer is asking or customer is looking for. This is what exactly we are going to do. And how are our customers are behaving today? You have multiple choice of customers. You have manufacturing, you have ITs, and each and every customer today have different set of partners. When we talk to the customer, we will know for security he will have one set of partner. For telco industry, for getting an internet lease line, he have one set of partner. Same way for voice based solutions, he have one set of partner. How as a partner get all the opportunities from the customer in single basket? Are we capable enough to do that particular stuff? This is what the question which we all will be having in mind, because the biggest problem is that when we are going to address that customer, we have to be in full confidence that yes, we will be in a position to address that customer without any hassle. We have to what we have to exactly do is that we have to just look at for the opportunities, whatever it is, bring it back to us in cloud. We are there to support and we will help you to make it happen. This is what we want to tell you. And who are all your target audience? There are multiple level of cloud buyers today in the market. One is that early adopters who says that I am not interested in traditional server storage and all that. Everything I want to put it across in cloud. There are other set of customers who says that hey, look, I have a traditional workloads which is there with my traditional boxes which I want to move it to cloud, and he will always have some kind of a timelines and he wants to work on that timelines and he want to move it out. Then there are a lot of security conscious customers. They have their own customers who are talking about compliance, HIPAA compliance, GDPR, etc., etc. So many compliances they will be talking about. Those customers are your set of customers. Then there are price conscious customer. They always do the apple to apple customer comparison, and they say that I want this at a very low cost. These are also the customers for us. Slow and steady customer. They don't want to change any of the traditional method, but at the same time, whatever the new applications comes in, they will be moving on to the cloud. In any which ways, what you can see today in the market is that each and every customer is having a small or a medium or a large cloud requirement in his kitty. And what we have to do is we have to just go another opportunity, bring it back to us. You don't want to worry about anything else. And here comes your cloud transformation journey. Dear partners, RRR is the program traditionally for you, and we are going to support you end to end. What you need to do for that is bring in your top 30 customers or bring in your customers to us. We, along with you, handhold you, train you, give you all the insights, and we will help you to build the pipeline for you, generate the opportunity for you. What you have to do is just you have to bring in only the customers. That's it. Dig your old database, whatever the customer said in the past, think about that. If any word like cloud, anything on security, anything on artificial intelligence, anything on ML, all that, whatever it is, if any of your customer has spoken and you have not looked at it, please go to that customer, bring that customer to us. We have a team who can able to guide you, go and have the conversation with the customer along with you, help you to prepare the BOQ for you, help you to do the complete solution stitching for you, and end-to-end deal optimization, everything for you, and we will ensure that you are getting that deal in your favor. This is exactly we are going to do. And what is that benefit the partner is going to get? Pre-sale support, post-sale support, managed services support, discounted implementation cost, and we will give you the product training as well. Basic product trainings on virtual desktop, AD services, lift and shift of opportunities, website hosting, SAP B1, all this, Windows SQL migration, all this training we are going to give you. we are going to ensure that your sales guys, your sales champions can able to talk the right language to the customers on cloud. This is what we want to do. On top of this, what you are going to get is that you will get 10% margin on the MRR, and also on the managed services piece of it, you will get additional 10% of margin. And also on top of this, I'm going to give you that $500 for each and every subscription which you are adding to us. And then if the customer says that I want to go for a proof of concept, yes, for that also we are going to give you $250 of POC. And then frequent training to your customer as well on how to utilize the dashboard, how to use the dashboard, and also to your sales champions on how to talk to the customer and how you can able to help the customer as well, which means end to end we are going to support you. The earlier scenarios are like, we used to come to you and ask for the opportunities. Now what we are telling is like, bring the customer to us. We will generate the opportunity on behalf of you, and we will ensure that you will have additional line of business. If you are a security partner, you can have one line of business we want to do. And imagine, partners, if you are going to get 30 customers, and if you are going to have $500 as an MRR, you are going to do 180K, and I'm going to give you 15% in that 180K as a margin to you, or 20%, which means almost 30K straight away. I'm going to give it to you in a year. On top of this, additional $750 for each and every order which you are bringing it to me, and much more opportunities, much more benefits are also there. If you start signing up and registering with us, our team is there in each and every location across India. The team will guide you and hold you end to end to support and ensure that you grow your business to the next level. If you grow, which means Redington is also growing. We as a distributor and digital transformation enabler, we are also growing to the next level. Of course, it is all all three of us are going together in the market, and we want to build that ecosystem, and that is what is all about RRR, recurring revenue with Redington. And this is what we want to tell, and this is what the story which we want to tell across to our partners. I hope you all will register with us. If you have any doubts, any clarifications, please reach out to me. My email address is there, and also you can come send a mail to cloud@redington.co.in. Thank you so much. Any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Mithun, for this very interesting presentation, a wealth of useful information out there for our audience who can certainly opt for the great benefits that you have mentioned. And we will now have our second poll question. Okay, so I request our tech team to launch the poll question before we open the floor for the Q&A session. So, okay, the question is, if you have plans for cloud adoption, when do you want to take the next step in your cloud journey? It's a single choice answer, 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. I request the audience to please participate and select one of the options. If you have plans for cloud adoption, when do you want to take the next step in your cloud journey? Few more seconds left for the results to appear. Okay, can we have the results now? All right, Mithun and Krishna, what do you think about it? Your views.
50%. That's great.
Okay.
I personally believe that there's a case with most of our customers, and I'm sure our partners here are reflecting that, right? Cloud is seen as an opportunity to accelerate business transformation. I will not talk about digital transformation, I'll talk about business transformation. And every initiative that a customer is taking today is to drive
this particular set of business transformations, which has direct impact on to their line of businesses, right? So, I'm not surprised that many of them are looking at getting onto the public cloud bandwagon real quick. And most importantly, the rest of them who are looking at 6 months time frame are probably, great candidates for us to have conversation together with Redington, with the partner ecosystem that's there on the call today, to see if we can look at, building in capabilities like doing an assessment. Many of them, the ones who are saying 6 months down the line, are extremely unsure. So are literally fence sitting. So my view, those set of customers would be the fact that an assessment can certainly help them really prioritize what application, what infrastructures they can prioritize to move on to the public cloud Azure, right? And it is something that we offer to all of our customers, an assessment of their particular lay of the land or landscape. That for me, I know should encompass the 6 months timeline and the 3 months timeline. The remaining ones may probably have investments made on their on-premises hardware or infrastructure, and may have time to may have time for the refreshes. So fairly understandable. I think so. The results very well indicate the nature of the customers that we talk to, and is pretty much indicative of the fact that cloud adoption is real. It's here, and customers continue to adopt it at faster pace than what and what we envisage or what we think, essentially. What do you, Sudipta?
Krishna, uh, for this very nice explanation. And I now open the floor to questions. I request everyone to use the Q&A text box to send in their questions, and I will take them one by one till time permits. So I see that some of our audience, they have already started sending in their questions. So the first is, what does it take for a traditional partner to become a full-fledged cloud reseller? So one of you gentlemen can answer it, or both of you.
So I will take this up. So as a traditional partner, you will be working with a lot of OEMs. What we expect you to do is that look at your own set of customers, okay, who are traditional in nature. Go back to them, start talking the cloud language. We are there to support you end to end. So to assist them, on giving the BOQ, to help them doing the assessment. Microsoft is always there to give us to do the assessment, whatever it may be. Maybe it may be a security assessment, or it may be infrastructure assessment, or it may be application assessment. Whatever the way it is, we are there to support, and we will help them to ensure. Second thing is that we are not going to do only with the customer. We are going to handhold the partner as well. As a traditional partner, we will go along with you to the customer. We will explain you one by one. We will teach you, handhold you end to end, and so that you can also learn on how to have this conversation with the customers, and what is the benefits of going for cloud. It's all about agility today. It's all about the transformation, as KP rightly said. It's a business transformation which is happening. And today, everybody wants that business transformation. So what we want to have is that, we want to have the right set of questions asked to the customer. We want to have the right language spoken to that customer. If we do so, definitely, it is not a rocket science. In all the traditional partner can become a born in cloud partner soon. Not an issue at all. And we are there to support that.
I would like to add a point, Sudipta, here. So for all of you considering yourself traditional partners, you're extremely more relevant to us than otherwise. So, all you need to do is register yourself with Redington, and the teams at Redington are empowered and are capable to build those cloud skills with you, and rest of the things Mithun did specifically bring about. So please go ahead. I mean, nothing stops you from, registering yourself with Redington, building your capabilities, which Redington will work through with you, and then sky's the limit, or cloud is the limit. Let me put it that way.
Thank you, Mithun and Krishna. Great to know how you will be hand-holding the partners and giving them all kinds of support. Then the next question is, who can help us create BOQ, and who will lead the conversation with customers? So, Mithun, would you like to take that?
It's a Redington team. We have close to around 60 plus solution architects shared across pan India. And also those people are there who will help. And also we have a feet on street in each and every region. We have 25 to 26 branches. Each branch have a feet on street who are all certified sales resources of AZ 900 as well as Azure administrator. So those people come and lead the conversation. Behind the screens, we have a solution architect who is there to support and prepare the complete bill of material and share it across as a proposal to you. What you have to do is just bring the customer to us. Rest all will be done, taken care by the Redington team along with you.
Great.
I'll add in here from experience, right? What we did with Redington, and this is for partners who may be primarily in the manufacturing space. So this is for you, ladies and gentlemen. We built something called as an SAP factory within Redington. What it meant was we enabled Redington resources to be in a position to scope out a SAP, ECC or DR or S4HANA implementation opportunity. Then they, in turn, when we skill them up, it was a factory model, right? Like Mithun did mention the number of skilled resources that they have. The SAP factory then works with partners like yourselves. You bring in opportunities. The Redington team optimizes these particular BOQs to make you extremely cost competitive and technically far more superior than the compete. And most importantly, at the back end, if there is further optimization or further inputs needed, the same SAP factory that works within Redington reaches out to Microsoft for inputs and for guidance. And thereby, once when the final BOQ is shared with you, ladies and gentlemen, you have all the capabilities necessary to go ahead and win the deal for Microsoft, for yourself, for Redington, right? So net, this is a classic example of how we build the scale model with Redington. And I would really want each one of you to look at this possibility cutting across every workload. There is enough capability within Redington to help you guys out.
Thank you for explaining it so well. Now, Mr. Nakutaluja, he wants to know if there's partner technical certification for this. Is there a certification?
Yes, there are.
Yeah, there is. Okay.
I mean, yeah, there are certifications available for partners to go ahead and explore. They could reach out to Mithun and the Redington team to help themselves enabled on it. They could be trained, they could be coached, and then they could go ahead and take the certification exam.
Right.
A strong believer that certification to the resources adds in a lot of validation when you have customer-centric conversations. So yeah, I think the short answer to a question is yes, pretty much yes. The partners can start as low as AZ 900, which is the basic fundamental Azure fundamentals, and then build in terms of administrator, in terms of architect, and thereof.
That's great. Mrs. Tajinder Singh wants to know, like AWS and Google Cloud, does Azure provide free credits for startup consumers?
Pretty much yes. I'll take that question. So we do have a program called Microsoft for Startups, while not specifically within the purview of this conversation, sir. But yes, we do have a program called Microsoft for Startups, which is primarily looking at onboarding new age startups and helping them get to innovate real quick, right? And Microsoft for Startups has been a program available for a startup community to pick up for more than a year and a half to now.
So there's another question. This is also for regarding startups. Mr. Sunil Mehra is asking that how a 2 to 3 year old startup can work on this. Is there an easy space for them?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Answer to that question is yes. You could reach out to Redington, and Redington could then orchestrate a conversation with the Microsoft Startups team, and the Startups team can engage with you and get you going. As simple as that is, right? So, answer to your question, pretty much yes. Available. Reach out to Redington. Redington will get you in contact with the relevant startup team. By the way, we've got a very specific focused digital native business vertical itself. A startup vertical itself in Microsoft today. So the whole bunch of people wanting to go ahead, meet new startups, interesting startups, and get you all onboarded.
The next question is from Mr. Pradeep Mishra. He's saying that if clients are already on AWS, can Redington team help them to move on to Microsoft?
Mithun, you can take that, but I can answer that, but you can take that first.
Yes, definitely we can. Okay, we have to check on that, and we see how best we can able to optimize the customer and we will definitely take it up. There is no challenge in that.
My question to you, my answer to the gentleman who asked this question is, bring it on. Bring it on, please. We are acquiring customers from Compete. Please bring it on, and we'll do everything possible to get the customer onboarded on Azure.
Right. And Mr. Rajneesh Kumar, he's asking, whether they can approach for customers who are using cloud, or do they have to go to new customers? So can you give some clarity on that?
Absolutely both, yeah. Absolutely both, right? Existing cloud customers. See, please note that any customer who already says that they're on the cloud journey, essentially means that the customer is open to cloud. Not every part of their workload ecosystem is on the public cloud. So there's an opportunity in a customer who already has made up their mind to move to the public cloud, right? That answers your first segment. The second question is, if somebody is already is invested in on-premises data center, yes, absolutely, yes, great target to go ahead and have those conversations with the customer. If not the core application in itself, we could build a surround ecosystem around data analytics, data warehousing, which can be on the public cloud, and build those analytics capabilities within the public cloud Azure. So net, both set of customers, right? Customers who already embarked on their cloud journey, absolutely yes, you can look at them as an opportunity to go after. People who are still on premises in their own data centers, running servers, network, storage, absolutely yes, there as well. But my guidance to you would be that the on-premises one, right? Be very mindful of when the hardware cycles are due for refresh, supremely critical to make an assessment of when the customer will probably look at it. Any pressing event, any performance, scalability, pressing event that they may have encountered in the past from a performance standpoint, which may want them to look at the public cloud. So we've had customers wherein, let me take a classic example, okay? Can't name the customer though, but the customer had on-prem data center to power their SAP S/4HANA, and had a DR. During one of those times wherein the production failed, the DR didn't kick in, okay? So their first conversation to us was, hey, we want to set up DR on the public cloud Azure. We worked with the customer to do that. As we worked and unearthed, we realized that the customer's solution on premises was not scaling up. So today, when we are talking to the very same customer, right, we are talking of end-to-end transformation of taking the primary workload of S/4HANA, just not the QA pre-prod, but also the production systems, onto the public cloud Azure, run the production out of the public cloud Azure, and to run the DR also on the public cloud Azure. So the more deeper you get into conversations, the greater is your possibility to unearth an opportunity which can land you a deal. I hope I have answered your question fairly okay.
Thanks, Krishna. We will take up just the last question. And Mr. Rajesh Dwivedi, he wants to know that do they have to partner with Microsoft for this?
They can partner with Redington. Redington are our largest indirect CSPs today, and they can get themselves registered with Redington. And once that is there, by default, they have the ability then to go ahead and solution for Microsoft solutions, including Azure, and get going. So they don't have to register with Microsoft per se. Registering with Redington and aligning themselves to Redington is good enough. They'll have all the necessary access that they need to have.
I think we'll just take another question by Mr. Naku Taluja, and he's asking, on about free credits on boarding. I mean, does partner get mapped to customer and get upfront onboarding margins and consumption margins, or already boarded customers, they can choose them as a partner on Azure portal? So can you give some clarity on that?
Both possible. Okay, so
both are possible.
Both are possible. So if a partner is working with a customer who's already on Azure, and for that particular subscription, they make them the PAL, absolutely yes. The partners are entitled for their incentives, whatever they may be, right? Rebates and incentives, whatever they may be. When they're working on a net new customer with Redington, obviously the bunch of incentives that we bring onto the table, bunch of rebates that we bring onto the table for indirects like Redington. I think so more details in terms of how these get delivered to a tier 2 partner like the gentleman can certainly be handled by Mithun on a one-to-one conversation. And like I said, both options pretty much. But I don't think so. There's a possibility of preloading something. I don't know, right? But at Microsoft, there's nothing of that opportunity, that size, that way. For us, everything is an opportunity, is a fresh opportunity, and we make our investments, be it either in terms of pre-sales investments or post-sales investments, or for that matter, incentives and rebates, once we have the customer onboarded. So that's the way we function. But yeah, I leave that to Redington to handle that conversation with the.
And Mr. Shah wants to know, is it necessary to log the lead with Redington? Mithun, maybe you can answer that.
Yes, that is a mandate so that it will be easy for us. There will be a transparency with you as well to have that discussion, and whatever, first come first serve basis, we will be supporting and we will take things forward. It is mandate for us to log the lead.
Thank you, Mithun and Krishna, for answering all those questions with so much of patience and explaining it so well. And that's all the time we have for today. And I thank Mithun and Krishna for explaining to us the recurring revenue model and its umpteen benefits. I'm sure there are a lot of valuable takeaways for our audience here. Thank you, audience, for your interest and time, and we look forward to welcoming you all in our next webinar soon. Have a great day ahead.